All right. You're looking live at the TD Report. I'm your host, David Combs. I'm here with Tony Kennedy. Tony, how you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Feeling
My man
good?
Joe Burrow. Hey, when Cody come back, he gonna give you all the picks because I hit the undefeated
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay. Hey, man, championship weekend in the NFL this year did not disappoint. You got two excellent games. And I would say the big surprise was the opener. Uh, you know, Looking at what happened in this Bengals Chiefs game, Tony. The Bengals come back from an 11-point halftime deficit. They were down 21-10 at the half to the Chiefs. The Chiefs looked to be ready to pull away, and the Bengals somehow come up with a furious second half comeback and defeat the Chiefs 27-24 in overtime. In one of the more thrilling AFC championship games in recent memory. What were your
Can
first
I?
impressions of the game,
My
Tony?
my first impressions of the game is how other games impact your decision. The cockiness of the Chiefs when they were 13 seconds and they came all the way down the field to get the field goal against Buffalo. That cockiness actually hurt them in the championship game. When they had the ball on the 1 yard line, they felt that they could do anything they want with the time, no timeouts on the 1 yard line. We can score. That ended up costing them the game, not getting any points.
And let's talk about that drive, Tony. Uh, Bengals come down and score late
Mm-hmm.
in the second half. There's a minute and 5 seconds left when the Chiefs get the ball. They get the ball. They go 7 plays, Tony, 80 yards in a minute and 5 seconds, and get no points.
Nothing.
What do you think the complexion of the game would be if the Bengals had been down 18 at half versus being down 11? I
It
think it meant
changes
everything.
everything. It changes everything. Bengals couldn't keep it that running game, which ended up helping them out in the end. They couldn't stay consistent at that running game, and now you put Joe Burrow under more live fire
Right.
towards the end of the game. I mean, listen, let's get this straight. The Bengals, they really don't have a good interior offense or defensive line, and that live fire would have been even harder when you're talking about, you know, they don't have to worry about the run. Being
Well,
down 11 points is only one field goal away from being down one possession.
being down 11 points or being up 11 points, in my opinion, is a danger zone. You are really you're only up an 8 pointer and a three.
Yeah,
You're up a touch.
mm-hmm.
So, in other words, you're up a touchdown and a field goal. Okay.
That's all that is.
So, you do it at 18. You get somebody that's like a master at this, like Jimmy Johnson at Fox Sports, right? He's a master at knowing when to go for two, when to go for
Mm-hmm.
one. And he doesn't just go by the chart, but he would tell you the math behind, hey, if you're up by 18 at half versus when you're up 11, I would imagine your chances of winning go up by like 20%, 30% as far as your probability. So we're looking at that last drive, 7 plays, 80 yards, a minute and 5 seconds off the clock. And then they just go to the half, the up 11. Let's talk about the second half, Tony, because we really probably should be giving the Cincinnati Bengals defense, they get my game ball for the championship game. Listen to these statistics. It's going to make you sick. These are Kansas City possessions in the second half, and it's on a sheet of paper about the size of a Post-it note. 5 plays, punt. 2 plays, interception. 3 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. They got 17 yards on the first drive, 7 yards, then an interception, -2 yards, and then -4. That's where they lost the game. Cincinnati's defense was able to hold one of the most powerful offenses that we've seen in recent memory since the
Mm-hmm.
greatest. You know what, Tony? This is the best offense in terms of being able to score the football since greatest show on turf. They're incredible.
No, Denver. Denver was
Uh,
the
you're
one that
talking
broke the
about
record.
you're talking about with Terrell
Peyton
Davis.
Manning. No,
Oh,
Peyton Manning.
the very
one that
last
lost
bit.
to Seattle. The
Oh,
one that lost to Seattle, not the one that ended up beating Carolina. Because the one that beat Carolina was totally different than the one that lost to Seattle.
okay.
That
Okay.
offense wasn't any good by that time. But that
Okay.
offense that broke all the records that one year, I think it was 13, 14. Yeah, that offense there was,
But that was just a 1 year thing. Kansas City
ah,
Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs have had the top offense in the league for a couple of years now, and
hey,
they've just been able to score. Well, the last, come on, Tony, four AFC Championship game appearances. So
mm,
they can do that when they want to score. They are able to score with anybody.
yes, they are.
Right. So to hold that team in 4 possessions to what is that, 7, 10, 13 plays.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible, Tony. And total yards, that's what, 24 minus 2 yards on one. So that's 19 minus 4. That's 15 total yards of offense for most of
Mm-hmm.
the second half. That's the Cincinnati defense doing that. The
Yes.
Cincinnati defense did a great job because they limited Yak. They kept Kansas City from really getting a lot of chunk plays, especially in the second half. Now,
Mm-hmm.
to stay in the game, the field goal to tie, to take it to overtime, they went
Mm-hmm.
14 plays, went down and got themselves a field goal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into overtime and they're back again, 3 plays and an interception. So the Cincinnati Bengals lose the toss. Kansas City takes the ball. They get
Mm-hmm.
3 plays and immediately turn it over. And the game is basically over at that point. Joe Burrow comes in and he said, "We're closing them out, baby. That's it. We're getting this field goal and the game
Well,
is
they
over."
did get a field goal at the end of the game when they should have got a touchdown.
Who?
Kansas
Kansas
City,
City?
in regulation.
In regulation. But Kansas City takes the field goal. That was to tie and to
That
keep
was
them
the
in the
tie.
game.
They
They
should
don't
have
get
won
that
the
field.
game.
Yeah, they don't get that field goal.
But remember, they
Game's
were on
over.
the 12-yard line. They could have scored a touchdown, but they got
They
a big
should have
sack
scored
in
a
that
touch.
game.
Hey, that's like that old Michael Jordan commercial when Jordan is against Jordan. Young
Mm-hmm.
Jordan against old Jordan. Young Jordan says, "I could have dunked it." Old Jordan says, "You should have dunked it." You know what I'm saying? So, Tony, this was great for you because I know you're a big Joe Burrow fan. I've become more involved in watching him. Just a great story for this guy. When he blew his knee out last year, I thought to myself, "Oh man, that's terrible luck for that guy." But some interesting history could be in the making in the Super Bowl. If Joe Burrow can get a Super Bowl championship, he will have won the Heisman Trophy, national championship, and a Super Bowl within 3 years.
But here's people see Cam Newton had the same thing
He had a
6 years
shot.
ago.
He had a shot.
He had a shot. The same thing. He was in the game. He won the Heisman. He won the national. He won a he
MVP.
was in the Super Bowl. But he won the MVP.
He won the
So
MVP that year.
Cam Newton would have had something that nobody ever could have
Oh
done.
yeah, yeah. Joe Burrow right now is got the looks of Joe Namath for me. He's got
Yeah,
that swag, you know.
yeah.
But it's not obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? He's very likable. You know, uh, it's really incredible for that young man. I'm really happy.
Cincinnati media isn't as big. If Joe Burrow did this in New York,
Or
it would
L.A.
be or LA. I mean, so
or
happen he's playing
Dallas.
in LA with Dallas.
If he did this
I
in
mean,
Dallas, you'd see him on. He'd be on every
he'd be
show.
on every commercial. Be on. I like that
Well,
he represents the cigars.
oh, of course, of course. Look, if he walks off the field, at SoFi and he's smoking a cigar, uh, he's the new Joe Namath.
Yeah, he is so cool. But I like it, man. That he made it. I call Cincinnati on our show. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan because he's on the TD report. We've
Yep.
had him on the TD report as the pitcher on the TD report forever. That
Yeah,
picture with
yeah.
me and him in the Heisman. So I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. But I think the Rams are going to kill him.
You think the Rams are going to open up on Cincinnati? You think
Where
this
they're
is a bad
strong,
this is a
where
bad
they're
matchup?
is a bad matchup because where they're strong, Cincinnati's weak. That's the interior offense and defensive line.
Well, let's talk about the defensive line. I mean, the offensive line. Last week, the Cincinnati Bengals gave up 9 sacks. Against Kansas City, they only gave up 1.
But they missed 5 sacks that was just unbelievable that the Rams won't miss.
Okay? So you think that Joe Burrow's ability to scramble will be neutralized by the Rams, or limited?
The Rams got limited because the Rams got very athletic guys up front. Von Miller and them not missing, and Donald and them not missing and overrunning. They're not doing what Kansas City. Remember, Kansas City wasn't known for their defense.
No,
their defense wasn't that good.
Their defense was improved over previous years, but it wasn't. Yeah.
They're not the Rams.
Now,
up front.
Now, I did want to say, one thing that did interest me was the Bengals did get, just to go back to the Bengals real quick, and I know you want to get over to this 49ers-Rams game. Everybody, thanks for joining us on the TD Report tonight. I'm with Tony Kennedy. I'm your host, David Combs. We're going to wait for Cody to join us, too, but we're going to talk a little bit before he gets here. We're just about 10 minutes in. I wanted to say this about Pat Mahomes' last interception. The interception that he threw is the type of play that NFL defensive backs normally don't make. It was at the 20-yard line when he threw the ball, threw a deep pass. It went over his intended receiver. His intended receiver got his hands on it. It was poked out, came back. You can't hear me, Tony? You can hear me? I can't hear you. So try to go off of your earbuds, big guy. You're on mute. You muted yourself. You're on mute. Nope.
Can you hear me?
Now I got you. I got you.
All right, good.
So,
all right. No.
The interception in overtime, that was a great play, a great catch, because that was a play where Mahomes wanted to go deep, right? And flip field position. And the safety came over and knocked the ball loose. And the corner that was trailing the play ended up falling in his hands. And he made
the same one that dropped the interception, Eli Apple.
Right. That was incredible. Because you and I both know most defensive backs can't make that catch off of a tipped ball.
Can I ask you a quick question, Dave?
Yo.
Why aren't we talking about the overtime rules this week?
Because Cincinnati played defense.
And what wins championships, Dave?
Defense.
Okay. So, Buffalo, please stop. And all y'all fans, please stop with that garbage about whoever wins the coin toss, blah, blah, blah. That's the second time in 4 years that I've seen the team in the championship game lose the coin toss and end up going to the Super Bowl. The Rams lost the coin toss against the Saints. They intercept Breeze and they kick the field goal. And now this just happened. So in 3 championship games, 2 of them lost the coin toss. And the team went on to go to the Super Bowl.
Did the Chiefs get greedy? Did they get greedy?
No, they didn't get greedy. What happened was they just didn't stay patient. That don't mean they got greedy.
Were they sloppy?
No. Here's my thing. Cincinnati was so good at bracketing these guys. They were so good at it. What did Bill say? They were so good at it, man, that we got to give them credit. We got to give them credit. They just played sound defense, Dave.
They tackled. They got off of blocks. They kept the big playmakers for Kansas City from making additional plays. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining us. Burrow, very steady QB, quiet confidence. Absolutely. I agree. I thought the kid played great. Okay. whatever they're doing in Cincinnati, and hey, listen, everybody record this. Whatever they're doing in Cincinnati, they're doing a damn good job.
They don't.
I'll
And
say
Bill
that.
West, Bill West. I know you guys hate that Harbaugh just got signed an extension, but it ain't easy finding good coaches, man.
No, listen. This was a great game, a fantastic game. Let's switch gears here. Let's talk about the 49ers and the Rams. What did you see in this game, Tony? Because I've got a couple of things I wanted to say about it. Let's get your take. Let's get the expert take first.
In the game, to me, when all things are equal, it comes down to the position that makes the most money. Quarterback.
Okay.
When all things are equal.
You like what Matt Stafford did.
I love what Matt Stafford did. Matt Stafford outplayed Jimmy G.
Hey, listen, 2 SEC quarterbacks are going to be in the Super Bowl this year. Matt Stafford's went to Georgia.
Well,
Joe Burrow, LSU.
LSU, I know. There's so much switching now. He went to Ohio State. He went to Georgia. Blah, blah, blah,
Look, I don't care that he went to Ohio State. He went to LSU. That's where he won the national championship.
So Matt Stafford's college team won the championship, and now he can go and pull his championship.
That's great, man.
Pretty good year.
That's a pretty good year. I mean, I like what Matt Stafford did as well. Matt Stafford put up good numbers. 31 of 45 for 337 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. It was more than enough it was enough to get it done.
He was 31 to what?
45. He put it up 45 times.
He had more completions than your boy had attempts.
Yes, more completions. Garoppolo went 16 of 30, but that was the game plan. You know, if you're the 49ers, you don't want Garoppolo throwing 40 times a game. I think you've said that on the show. I think you've said that. So here's what I thought. The 49ers did a great job getting themselves up 17-7. They did a great job doing that. But the Rams, for the most part, held Deebo Samuel and, they held Greg Kittle in check. Those two combined for 6 catches for just under 100 yards, but they did score 2 touchdowns. But that you'll take it. But you'll take that. You'll take that.
I'll take 17 points any day.
Yeah.
Had Dallas only given up 17 points, they'd have been in overtime with them.
Correct. You see,
17 points.
But you see how tight these games are. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's the Rams having a great receiving day from Cooper Kupp. Beckham got involved and played great. Beckham had nine grabs for 113 yards. Cooper Kupp 11 catches for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. So when they had to get yards, when they had to score, they were able to get it done. Joining us on the TD Report, Mr. Cody Bennett. How's it going, Cody? You're on mute, baby. Hit that mute button. There we are. We got you now. Hey, we want to loop back around real quick on the TD Report as we bring in Cody Bennett, our producer. We've already talked about the Chiefs, but I want to get your take on a couple of things. Cody, in that Chiefs-Bengals game that went to overtime, talk to me about that Chiefs offense in the second half. What happened?
To be honest, I credit a lot to the Bengals secondary. I think they played great coverage. I think they stayed with the receivers of Kansas City when plays were extended by Patrick Mahomes because he had all day in the pocket. It wasn't the pass rush at all, but it was the fact that the secondary stayed with those receivers and didn't allow that extension of the play by him and escape in that pocket really do much, and it gave more time for the linebackers to shed linemen to shed those blocks and get in there and get at him, which there's not much you can do when there's great coverage downfield and your plays are all downfield. Mm-hmm. A couple, dump offs that they had here and there, but they started running a spy towards the in the fourth quarter where they basically just had someone kind of sitting there and watching to make sure Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to run and to make sure he wasn't going to dump it off, right underneath. And they played coverage down low. So I think that really threw off Kansas City in the fourth quarter and midway through the third. And that's all
Now,
you need. Great defense.
and now there has been some talk about there being some confusion on the sidelines, out on the field for Kansas City as far as key game situations. Pat Mahomes not necessarily knowing if he had timeouts left. Situations where plays would be coming in, they're not getting the right play in late at the end of the first half,
Right.
throwing the ball horizontal when you should have been going into the end zone.
Look,
This shouldn't happen with a veteran quarterback.
And I was going to say, dare I say, but he looked panicked to me. I mean, the way he was scrambling out of the pocket or even just going back and forth seemed erratic and unnecessary at times. It just seemed like he was panicked in a sense in the fourth quarter. And again, like you said, it doesn't seem normal for a veteran quarterback or someone that we would consider somewhat of a veteran, or at least who has the experience and has been in these situations before.
This is what I think the Kansas City formula is. In the second half, when I analyzed it, they ran 27 total plays and scored 3 points. Okay. What I think the way that Andy Reid runs this scheme is that in a half, he wants to run off like 40 snaps in a half.
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard
to.
You got to think, Dave, just 2 weeks ago, man, they scored, 21 points in a minute and 48 seconds or something crazy?
Exactly. What he thinks, what has worked for Kansas City is that if they're going to run off 40 snaps on you in a half, if they can get to that, they're basically saying to themselves, just by percentages, we're going to mix in enough Tyreek, we're going to mix in enough, Kelsey. We're going to work in a lot, obviously, of Pat Mahomes. And that formula has worked, and we're going to score points.
Yep.
We're going to break down your defense.
And see, one big thing that I saw, too, is they were with the run game with Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first half, and they got away from that completely in the second half.
Well, what it looks to me is one of the weirdest box scores for a Chiefs game that you'll ever see, where they score more in the first half than they do in the second. Yeah. 21 points in the first half, 3 points the entire second half, and overtime. And their overtime only lasted 3. Their overtime on offense only lasted the 3 plays.
Who's that defensive coordinator with Cincinnati? Because that guy must have been doing his job in the locker room.
Oh no, he earned his game check.
He changed some things up, switched some things around, and got them boys back there covering wide receivers for the whole half.
And the way that the Chiefs broke down the Buffalo Bills defense, okay, in terms of knowing where the gaps were, where the seams were, just seemed that they might have been a little bit confused going up against Cincinnati the following week. So let's move off of that just for everybody and go on to the 49ers-Rams games so we can work Cody in here. Cody, I was telling Tony, this is a Kyle Shanahan team that was up, a Kyle Shanahan team that was up 10 points in a second half and couldn't hold the lead. Now, 10 points nowadays isn't what it used to be, right?
Right.
But a great rally by the Rams. Sean McVay's guys get it done 20-17 to advance to the Super Bowl to face the Bengals. What did you think about McVay in terms of how he structured his offense and his scheme yesterday?
I think he had to make a lot of changes during the game. I think from the way he started the game to the way it ended was completely different. I think his game plan wasn't working to what he thought it would work, and had to make those adjustments similar to what Cincy had to do.
Big B though.
We are going to see. Are we going to see McVay and Shanahan go after each other for the next 10, 15 years as coaches?
If they both stay there, then yeah, I think so. Why not?
And they're in the same division.
They're in the same division, but
yeah,
outside of that, I mean, listen, man. McVay, Shanahan, all this other crap. It's a whole lot more other coaches. Yeah, they had their right team. I don't think San Francisco is going to be the same team next year. The
I don't know.
Rams
Oh, no.
is definitely not going to be the same team next year.
But I
The
do say,
Rams are.
I do say this about San Francisco, though. With Kyle Shanahan, a year of development in an offseason, Trey Lance can come out and make that team look even better next year than Jimmy Garoppolo did.
Okay, that's a big if. That's a big if, Cody.
I mean, he's going to be.
I think the 49ers. I think the 49ers. They literally figured we're going to take one last shot at this with this Jimmy G thing, right? And they gave it the bet. Listen, Jimmy G cannot say that he didn't get a fair shot.
No.
I called it last year when the draft. I said, thank you, San Fran, for not taking Justin Fields. Because if Justin Fields is in that game, they do not lose to the Rams. They don't lose that game. That guy right there would have found a way to stay alive and get. You would have Justin Fields and Debo? Get out of here.
That's the thing, though, man. I really think that Trey Lance is capable of making that team look damn good next year.
Okay.
On the bench, Justin Fields wouldn't have been on the bench.
And the Rams
Wouldn't have started for Jimmy G. They would at least give him a chance.
And the Rams, obviously, it was Super Bowl or bust, and they're there.
Yeah.
They're there.
They're done.
They're done next year. Well, there's a couple of teams that really don't have much of a future as far as next season, and will have to look to get out of the salary cap issues.
The Rams are done next year. New Orleans are done next year.
Who does the Rams lose? Who do the Rams lose this year?
The Rams, all those guys on their last leg, basically, to make it here. OBJ is not going to be there. Von Miller is always damn hurt. Your boy Aaron Donald, all he wanted to do was play to get one damn Super Bowl. Matt Stafford, who knows what's going to happen to him after he get this big Super Bowl. I'm telling you, that Super Bowl thing, man, when you finish.
Well, he's got like 3 more years on it, right?
Yeah, Matt's got at least 3 more years, at least.
Is not built to keep winning like this. Tampa Bay had a more up future than them. And look what happened to Tampa Bay this year. They look old and whatever.
Tom Brady did it for a while with Bill Belichick.
Remember, they lose. That Whitworth dude is gone. He been in for 17 years. I'm telling you, when you see next year, you're going to be like, wow, what happened to the Rams? You know, we already know what's going to happen to Green Bay. I mean, you got to look at what's trending up. Cincinnati showed me management, good coaching allows you to get where you need to get. Matter of fact, Cincinnati makes me hate Dallas even more right now because they came from nothing. This time 2 years ago, they had the first pick.
Yep. So here's the situation.
Who has the first pick right now?
This time last year, they had like what the third.
Jacksonville gets the first pick again.
No, I mean
with Jacksonville being in the playoff in the Super Bowl.
So Matt Stafford, he's 34 this year, and he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. So his contract is up. $12.5 million. He's up. So listen.
Who was Trevor Lawrence's number 1 target in college? You guys will know that.
Oh, a wide receiver?
Yeah.
That Dixon. I forget the guy's name.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
He was he was number 9 or something.
Something like that.
Did he get drafted?
Yeah, I believe he did. I can't remember who got drafted.
He's not a top wide receiver coming out right now. So
nah.
You don't get to do it. You don't get to do that.
Jacksonville's in a similar situation that Cincinnati was in this year.
Well, Jacksonville drafted
back last year. They got a high pick this year.
Well, they drafted his running back out of college. They drafted him last year, and he blew his knee out.
And he
blew his knee out.
Yeah.
The difference is they just lost their coach. They just lost all their coaching.
Yeah.
That's the difference of management and coaching.
That's the problem that I had with Jacksonville, making the move that they did, but I don't think they had much of a choice because of what Urban Meyer was doing with his personal life and, the issues, the weight coach, being drunk at the drive-through. It was a mess, or it was a shit show to begin with. So Guys, we've gone exactly 30 minutes. We haven't mentioned Tom Brady yet. That's how good the championship games were. Let's talk about Tom Brady real quick. This is it, right? He's out. He's done.
If that's what they say.
That's what they say.
I've gotten 3 reports of him saying that he hasn't actually made his decision. His dad came out today and said that he's told him he's nowhere close to making a decision. So
I will say this:
if he's fighting it this much, then I feel like
it's over. It's over.
I don't know.
Football is not the type of thing.
You'd already be doing commercials and stuff.
We're not going Super Bowl next year anyway.
Football is not a situation where you're going to go out there and kind of half-ass your way into it. If your heart and your mind isn't into it, you shouldn't come back. I just don't think it's that type of sport. Okay, as an organization, we can say, all right, Tom, you don't have to come to the OTAs. You don't have to come to minicamp. We can make it easier for you, to show up, but we're not going to, I just don't think you're going to be as sharp. And he's one of the hardest workers, as a quarterback, working on his craft, getting himself ready and prepared to play. I just don't see him being able to half-ass over the summer and, with the family, and then just be able to turn it on and turn it off. I just don't see it. That's just my take on this guy. I think Tom Brady's career is over. I do think he is going to retire. I think after a couple of days, it's been at least 72 hours since the news, since the story was leaked. He's had a chance to look at retrospectives that have been written already. Adam Schefter wrote one, a couple of different, articles and magazines out there. It's been on all the sports shows. What happens if this is it? So on and so forth. It's hard to read your own eulogy as an athlete. He should probably call up his old friend Peyton Manning and ask him how it felt, because that's exactly what happened with Peyton Manning. And it happened to Peyton Manning twice, remember?
You think they're friends?
Yeah.
I was at the Hall of Fame. I didn't take pictures of it, but they were out there talking for a while.
It's a fraternity. There's a respect there. There's a respect.
Tom Brady comes on their show.
I know there's on their podcast. I just didn't know if it was like a.
Well, they're not
they're not buddy. I won't say they're buddy, but I just got this feeling that those two guys, their teams going up against each other all those years. There's got to be a mutual respect there too. To some degree, there's got to be some respect there.
Right.
I'll be on that subject. Can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
Brady won the championship. Then you had Roethlisberger won the championship. Then you had Peyton Manning won the championship.
Breeze.
And you had Joe Flacco.
And Breeze.
Same conference.
Conference. Right.
Or in the AFC that matches that for?
Right now? Well, Mahomes already has one.
Who's Brady? Who's Peyton Manning?
Josh Allen.
Yeah. He's got the look of it.
Nah.
I'll give Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert. He's going to get his stats are going to be. He's going to put up some gaudy stats.
Roethlisberger. That's Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's Roethlisberger. Yeah.
Flacco.
Okay.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Flacco.
Cool. Calm.
Why Flacco?
In that era. Remember,
no one else
right there.
In that era.
In the AFC in the same conference.
You ain't got no one else who won the Super Bowl in that era.
Well, from the AFC.
From the AFC.
I guess.
Don't forget, Tom Brady won most of them. He won 5 or 6. Yeah, was it 6? Yeah, he won 6 in the AFC.
He won 6. Peyton Manning won 1, right?
1.
Roethlisberger won 2. Flacco won 1. Hey, man,
that's a decade.
Win the Super Bowl.
That's a decade
worth of Super Bowl. Shit.
Yeah.
I'd almost be more willing to give the Brady accomplishment to him than the Flacco.
Okay. Hey, listen. If you're going to tell me I'm going to win 6
Flacco,
Super Bowls,
calling Burrow Flacco sounds disrespectful to me.
wow.
It does. I'm not a fan of Flacco. I think
You're not a fan of Flacco, but you know what? The guy got everything out of what he had, and frankly, that he should have gotten at least one more Super Bowl. One more. He should have got 2.
I think he got that Super Bowl because of that defense, the same as like Trent Dilfer did with the same team.
It wouldn't have mattered. It's Baltimore Ravens.
Wasn't Flacco
You're going to get a Super Bowl based on
and 0 interceptions?
Huh? Yeah, he won a whole
postseason. 14
postseason.
touchdowns and 0 interceptions that playoff.
Yeah, he was great. He's fantastic.
And he won MVP.
Yeah, they had like 2 defensive touchdowns a game.
Not the Super Bowl.
2 a game. Come on, Cody. What are you talking about, man?
Cody talking about the 2000 team versus the 2012.
You crazy? Come on, man.
Yeah, I know, Cody.
I can't believe Cody. I can't believe you did that, bro.
Cody.
So listen. One of the funnier things that's been trending to me is me and Cody are on Twitter a lot. Hey, man, with Joe Burrow getting to a Super Bowl, it has triggered a lot of WFT fans. There's some nasty stuff being said on Twitter by WFT fans about Chase Young. That ain't right, y'all. That ain't right. Leave that boy. Chase Young is at home watching this on TV. He's getting on his Twitter. He's like, what did I do?
Yeah, nothing.
No, oh, come on. Oh, don't do this. WFT fans, do not do this. Don't be those fans. Listen, the Cincinnati Bengals have been in the doldrums for probably since Andy Dalton
88.
left.
Yeah, 88.
Well, since Andy Dalton left, right? When Andy Dalton was there, they were a perennial playoff team. Paul Adams. It's sad. You're right. It is sad. What's sad is that the Cincinnati Bengals being in a Super Bowl has triggered a lot of WFT fans. A lot of Washington fans are upset because they're saying to themselves, this team was 2-14 2 years ago. They're in a Super Bowl. Why are we waiting 3 years
last year?
Why are we waiting 3 years, 4 years, 5 years for a culture shift?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say something? Okay. I call it the Chase effect. Chase Young. I don't want to be funny, but
don't
the
do
Washington Redskins, they were called the Redskins then, got a 2-point conversion against the Miami Dolphins to win the game and to get second. And they ended up getting Chase instead of Burrow.
They would have had Burrow.
But then stop this. Chase comes and hurts Burrow, cost them games last year, which allows them to get Chase, which allows them to go to the Super Bowl. That's the Chase effect. You can't make this shit up.
I had to light up a Redskins fan today. I don't like doing it. But I had to light him up because he said Ron Rivera has won the Coach of the Year award twice. He's a good coach. And I said Bill Parcells has only won it once.
Exactly. I want to hear that Coach of the Year. Whatever Cincinnati's doing, I want some of that.
They did something right. Look, Tony,
I want some of that.
If you're going to tell me that the Cincinnati Bengals finally did it right and here's the other thing. If people think that just getting Joe Burrow is why Cincinnati is in the Super Bowl, they're wrong. When you get the number 1 pick, the work that you did the year before in the draft.
And then the number 3 pick?
And then the number 3 pick, you had to make the right pick there too. Now listen.
Number 3 or 4?
It's either the 3 or 4. Jamar.
Yeah, it was one of the 2.
I think either 3 or 4. It was a high pick. It was a high pick, Tony. So listen, we all sat together at the draft, and when Cincinnati went wide, when Cincinnati went wide receiver, we all said the same thing. They should have got an offensive lineman. That's what we said.
We said the same thing, but when we went back to the notes and found out that they didn't give us information on that left tackle on purpose, the guy that was from Alabama. They didn't do that on purpose because they didn't want nobody to take Chase, because they knew that they were going to take Chase and they weren't going to take that damn tackle.
In all fairness, though, they still do need an offensive lineman. That wasn't a lie ever.
They need 2 offensive linemen, Cody.
Oh no, they
did need.
You will see after the Rams game, they need some offensive linemen, but
they just showed that they made a
good
choice by taking the
they're taking Chase right now. It was actually a great move by their organization.
Great move,
because they put all the stuff out.
It was a smoke screen
to get their receiver. And you don't think Joe Burrow wasn't asked, should we get your receiver?
Joe Burrow probably wasn't that. Joe Burrow probably said something before he was even asked.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
You know, those guys know what's going. Those guys know kind of what's going on in the war room. They kind of know.
So one of those, you bring number 1 here, we're going to a Super Bowl kind of thing.
If Joe Burrow said that and we've got it on tape, I'd love to hear it.
I'd love to.
That's going to make a great story. So, listen. Cincinnati Bengals kicker, that guy is just riding high right now, buddy.
McPherson, man, he's
riding high, buddy. Good for him, man. I'm happy for Cincinnati Bengals fans. I know WFT fans are upset. I know.
A hell of a leg.
Oh yeah, the ball explodes off his foot.
Where did he come from?
Let's look him up.
Great question. Evan McPherson, or is it Evan?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that Ohio State? He's not Ohio State, is he?
Nah. Oh, by the way, Cincinnati cancels classes for public schools on the Monday after the Super Bowl. They already canceled school. Good for them.
Good.
Florida.
Oh, right. That's
when
right.
He was drafted in the 5th round.
Damn.
They invested in the kicker.
That's a big investment for a kicker, 5th round.
Yeah.
Because you can usually go UFA. You know, most teams are just going to go UFA for a kicker. They're not going to – wait a minute. Who was the kicker for the Redskins that got drafted really high? Was it Chip Lowmiller? Like back in the day? I think it was Lowmiller that got drafted really high. The only other kicker I remember getting drafted really high was Sebastian Janikowski.
Hey, Cody, pull up Cincinnati's draft last year and tell me how many impact the rookies had this year.
Okay.
I'm looking it up.
Because that's important, too. I mean, you think about it, but you can't take the Super Bowl back. No matter what happens in the game, they went from worst to first.
Jamar Chase, Jackson Carman, Joseph Asai, Tyler Shelvin, Deontay Smith, Evan McPherson. That's the first 6 picks.
That's Cincy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
Yep. Kansas City.
No, he said Cincy.
Cincy. Wait a minute. So McPherson was the 5th round, and he was the last pick of theirs?
No. I'm looking on their website. The Jackson Carman is a starting guard. So they got an offensive lineman.
Yeah, they did. Who was the other names that you said?
Joseph Asai.
There wasn't. What's that? Thavon.
I'm getting there. They had Cameron Sample. He's a defensive lineman. Tyler Shelvin. He's a blocker. And this he's huge. Another LSU guy.
Yeah, that's the one that did I send you guys that picture where he was holding him up and it was the same picture of him holding
69,
him up?
yeah. Number 69.
That's him. That's him holding him up at the national championship.
Yep.
He from LSU, right?
He's got the same picture of him holding him up at the game.
Yeah, he weighed 2-year challenge.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Deontay Smith. He's an offensive lineman.
Check that out.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's a 2-year challenge.
He's literally holding him up like Joe Burrow is a boy.
Yep.
He's huge. Hey, listen, maybe I need to get off of Cincinnati's back because they picked up. We've just named these are rookies. These are rookies, and they start. They're starting. So
was on it this year.
Yep, Evan McPherson.
So they got Max. Hey, pull up number 47 on the roster, please.
And they picked up Trey Hill from. Hold on, Tony. They also picked up Trey Hill from Georgia. He was shut down for the year. He's also an offensive lineman. He's from Georgia. So they've got some talent on the offensive line. They're rookies. So maybe you bring in one veteran to kind of solidify the line. Probably, and really at this level, the big guy that really fixes your offensive line for a rookie, it isn't just that left tackle, it's the center. It's that guy that protects that A gap.
That number 47's played in the Bowls, right?
Yep.
Yeah, what's his name? Keandre?
Yeah, Keandre Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keandre Jones. He's a local dude. He
He's
went
from Olney.
Good counsel. It's 2 St. John's players in the Super Bowl.
Yep. But one of them I think went to Alabama, and I think the other one was at.
And speaking of that,
yeah,
you got your extra 15 points for having the Rams get there.
Good job, Tony.
And I was undefeated in championship game.
You were
I picked
undefeated,
Cincinnati, and I picked the Rams.
Yeah, so
and
right
I reluctantly picked Cincinnati.
Right now, it's sitting at I got 40 points. Dave, you're at 30, and TK, you're at 55.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in last.
But see, look, the Super Bowl picks are worth 25.
What, I get to pick again?
No, we're going to pick who's going to win this game.
Let's do it.
Well, my pick already did at the beginning of the year. My pick stayed the same. I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, well, you picked the Rams Titans to go. I didn't know you picked. The Rams and Chargers to go. I didn't know you picked the Rams to win it. So you staying with the Rams?
I'm always going to stay with the Rams.
Yep. He's going to stay with the Rams. Let me get the Bengals.
I'm going with the Bengals too.
Hey man, I'm just really happy for Joe Burrow and his guys. Man. That's really cool, man. They're just
recognized on the TD report. I said LA versus LA, and I played the song by my man Lee Moses, California Dreaming.
Well,
I only got one half of it.
Well, something else I wanted to talk about. The crowd of 49ers fans at SoFi for this for this NFC Championship game.
Update on Brady currently.
What's up?
Quote from him saying, "I'm still going through the process. I'll know when the time is right."
That's all? That's the best he can do? Come on, Tom. Give us something, baby.
Come on, Tom.
He ain't leaving if he's mulling it over this much.
Man, that's his wife, man. That's his wife trying to get him to That's his wife trying to get him to retire, buddy. Yeah. She'll be tired of him within a month.
This has never happened before. So now all of a sudden it's happening now. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, come on. Man. That's great.
Go ahead. It's 22 seasons, man. It's over, man.
You think it's over?
It's over.
Okay.
I think it's over. I mean, hey, great career. But we got other stuff to worry about than Tom Brady. We got so many other good things to worry about, all the good young coaching, all the Kyle Shanahan blowing games.
Well, what do you think of Tony? Let's talk about some NFL rumors real quick. The rumor mill. NFL rumors. Rumor has it that Jim Harbaugh might be leaving Michigan to go to Miami, the Dolphins.
I heard that wasn't happening.
So that is a rumor. So he has supposedly been offered the Vikings job.
I heard they both talked to him, but from everything I'm hearing, he's saying he's not leaving college.
That's plausible deniability. He's taken a pay cut at Michigan. He's already taken a pay cut. Things are not going the way that he expected them to go. Granted, they made it to the playoff this year. Are they going to make the playoff next year? Because you know how this works. Okay. Great. You won the Big Ten. You went in the playoff. You didn't do what you wanted to do. And if you're Jim Harbaugh, I would say this. Jim Harbaugh should not, if he's going to leave Michigan, he shouldn't coach. He should not coach pro. The reason I say that is he's bounced around a couple of times, right? He was coaching in the pros. He's now coached in college twice. once at Stanford, now at Michigan. And if he coaches again as a pro, he goes back and coaches pro, and it doesn't work out, he doesn't need the money. Okay? He's worth $30 million. He doesn't need the money. He's got to step away and understand what he's doing wrong so that he can make a step forward as a coach. That's just my take on the Jim Harbaugh situation. If you want to work just to be working, go work in TV. I don't like, and by the way, the Dolphins job and the Vikings job, I look at their quarterback situations, not enamored with it.
I like the Miami quarterback situation more than I like the Vikings.
That is, if you bring in Deshaun Watson. Is Tua your guy?
Yeah.
Tua's your guy.
Yep.
You sure about that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks to me, not a rumor, but the Giants already have their coach
down there, but
right. Oh, and the Giants did get their coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they made a good hire on this one. I'm okay with it.
Defensive coach.
I think that fits the character.
He's offensive, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's Brian Daboll.
He was the OC at Buffalo.
The Raiders. What about the Raiders coach?
Josh McDaniels?
I think it's terrible hire. He was terrible
that's a bad hire.
in Denver.
No, I don't like that hire.
And he's going to be terrible out there.
I don't like that hire at all. But, it's I don't know what Raiders ownership is thinking. Okay. So yeah, Brian Daboll is going to be inheriting the Daniel Jones quarterback situation, and he's going to say whatever he's going to say and be all nice at the press conference. We need to find out what happens at their first meeting when they talk of what his expectations are and what he wants to see. But I don't know if Daniel Jones can hold on to that job. I just don't think so.
Roster better than him.
I mean, it's going to be his to lose. I don't think they're going to take him away right away, but
no, because they need something stable. They need some stability, right? But then you've got the Saquon issue. Saquon, is he healthy enough to play? I mean, what's going to happen? So I don't know, man. I just would like to see some stability in New York. We need it for the division. The NFC East has been in such flux, but the NFC East would have has a chance to improve a little bit as far as the coaching acumen. Okay, coaching acumen in the division is not what it once was. Okay, and frankly, I don't know if it ever will be again. That golden age that was there in the 80s and the 90s, that just you just can't expect a Bill Parcells to pop up in New York, and then a Tom Landry gives way to a Jimmy Johnson. That just doesn't happen. Joe Gibbs doesn't just magically appear in Washington. And then, who was in Philly? Buddy Ryan. Not the greatest coach in the world, but pretty darn good, right? He'd knock you in the mouth, right? So I don't know the future of what's going to happen with the NFC East coaching fraternity, because I can tell you this: Mike McCarthy, Dallas, he is an absolute imbecile. He's terrible. He is a bad coach.
I hope they keep him. I hope they sign him to an extension.
And by the way, the next person that says, "How can Mike McCarthy be a bad coach? He's got a Super Bowl ring." Well, so does Barry Switzer. Come on, dude. Really? Barry Switzer has a Super Bowl ring, guys. That's terrible. Mike McCarthy might be as bad as Barry Switzer was as a pro.
Barry Switzer is the coaching is like Joe Flacco is the quarterbacking.
Hey.
Same logic. It's got a ring, man. It's got a ring.
You talking about our boy from Delaware, the Blue Hens? You gonna talk about Joe Flacco like that? Hey man,
Argue with y'all on that.
Joe Flacco was on a roster this year. He's still making money.
Yeah, he was behind.
He's still making money. I said, go ahead.
Third string. He was third string.
He was third string, Tony. He wasn't stealing money.
He was third string, getting paid a lot of money. He was the highest paid third string guy probably out there.
He's trying to make it's his 401k, man. He's got to retire on that.
He got that when he got 120 he stole from the state of Maryland.
I ain't mad at Joe Flacco. He did what he was supposed to do as a pro.
Maryland,
You better stop talking about Bill's boy, man. You need leave him alone, man. Hey, man, what about Jimmy G coming to the Redskins?
No.
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 Nope. I'm about to end the stream on that one.
No. Hey, by the way, WFT fans turn their noses up at Matt Stafford, and they were trying to get him.
We were loving Matt Stafford.
Exactly. Y'all would love Matt. Y'all would love Matt Stafford.
Everything to get Matt Stafford here.
They tried. They
did. Yep.
They tried. I got it. That's one of the few things that the WFT will actually admit they tried to do.
This is the better offer came.
Matt Stafford was thinking about it.
Yeah, well, it was a better offer that they got.
Right. Yeah. But he would have been okay coming here.
Yeah, absolutely. If they didn't get the better offer, he would have came here.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes in the NFL, these free agent periods, it comes down to a guy making the right decision or the team making the wrong decision. Don't forget the Miami Dolphins.
We got to learn how to speak German here, guys.
We got to learn how to speak German. You'll remember a certain free agency period when Drew Brees was picking between teams, and the Miami Dolphins decided, we're not really sure about Drew Brees' shoulder. We're going to take Dante Culpepper. So they bring in Dante Culpepper, and that left Drew Brees for the Saints.
Right.
Worked out great for the Saints.
It's just how it kind of crumbles sometimes.
It's just how it crumbles.
Yeah.
This situation, not coming to Washington, but going to the Rams, worked out great for Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for the guy. I really am happy for him. So we've made our Super Bowl picks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Definitely hit us on what you got, Tony.
Hold on now. Y'all make sure that y'all done talked about how I picked the Rams.
We got you.
The biggest name reveal in the history of this area happens in 48 hours. This is our last show.
2 days.
Okay.
Calling them the WFT.
I'm going to pull up at the stadium. I don't know if you guys are. I'm going to try to pull up there.
So who's it going to be? What's it going to be? Who's it going to be, boys?
What time is the reveal?
Well, I think they're doing it on like Good Morning America or something.
It's on Good Morning America. No, the Today Show. Today Show.
Yeah, okay. Even
Today
more
Show.
Still retarded, but ridiculous place to do it.
Do you all remember?
What?
What time did they say?
I don't know. I think
It'll be in the morning.
Yeah, it's the first thing in the morning. But
yeah.
Let me see. Let me double check here.
Well, whatever they say, they're going to drag it out, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
it's going to be the Commanders regardless.
You think? All right. Cody says the Commanders.
Yep. I don't want it to be, but that's what it's going to be.
Red Hogs.
Tony, what do you think?
Red Hogs.
Red Hogs.
Yeah.
I still like Red Wolves, but I know it won't be that.
Oh, I want it to be the Red Wolves so bad. I hope it was all like a big coup that they did in that video and pretended like
the Redskins again. They may name them the Redskins again. He may double back and name everything the Redskins. And just take away the logo.
Washington fashion.
He would say the Redskins.
Well, they could conceivably, Tony. They could conceivably call themselves the Redskins and make the mascot a Redskin potato.
The mascot just an R with the feather and take away the logo.
Lose the feather. Just put the R.
Put the R.
They could.
Yeah, they could.
Not the
Just
Redskins.
lose the R.
They couldn't use the name, man. There's no way.
Well, no, if it's a Redskin potatoes, sure they can.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Redskin potatoes.
Yeah.
I like
The
Redskin
only thing
potatoes.
was offensive was the logo.
The Indian image is what was considered offensive for a Redskin. So, you know, I don't know.
Logos,
I'll
call
say
them Redskins and put the R on their helmet.
that's what I would do. Besides, that was a good look. You know, listen, I remember the old logo as a kid and everything, and growing up with it. But I like the idea of them starting over fresh. And let's do this. I don't care what they call them. Just don't put the stadium in Prince William County, bro, because then I'd never see another game. I ain't driving out to Prince William County to see.
Keep it in Oxon Hill.
Keep it in Oxon Hill. Hey, find a place in D.C. and put it back in D.C. I don't care. But do not put it in Prince William County, okay? Just my take. So, let's call it a night, boys. We are going to talk. When are we going back on again, Tony?
Thursday, 7 p.m.
Thursday,
7
7 p.m.
And we had a name by them.
Huh?
That's 2-3.
Yes.
You know what Thursday is, fellas?
What?
4-year anniversary of my heart attack. 2-3.
Oh, okay. So we have to do something special, man. Congratulations and good health to you, Tony.
It's going to be a big show. We'll have a new NFL team that day.
New NFL team. Thanks for
NFL
joining us
team.
on the TD Report, everybody. We're going to be back on Thursday, 7 o'clock. Check us